Hey Joe, there's a Mr. Dennis, the owner and manager of Club 24. He's waiting for you in the boardroom.
Okay. Yes, I just placed the continuation motion this morning. The verdict will be given at 2 p.m. this afternoon. Yes. Right, I'll be in touch. What's all this about? This is about Maxwell, isn't it?
No,
Look,
yes.
Maxwell is not something I'd like to talk about right now.
But we've been putting it off for so long. It's time we discuss this issue.
But Maxwell is a disgrace. He discredits my farm, walking in here, getting drunk, throwing mayhem. He's made me lose face in front of my clients and employees. It's more than I can take.
Richard, he's our son.
If he's a man, it's time I saw him grow a pair.
What? That's how you can refer to our son's drinking problem? Compare them to a pair of balls?
Well, that's all he has anyway.
Richard.
Look, this conversation is over.
But...
Richard.
Look, I have work to do. We'll see you at home.
Okay. I'll see you at home.
Give me a brief overview, Mr. Dennis.
A woman comes into my club and causes a fight. She beats up one of my dancers. She gets the round. She alleges being manhandled and stripped.
Stripped?
Yes. Somehow, her clothes get torn and she goes home half naked. My bouncers did it to her. It was not intentional. It happened in the scuff, push, shove. Clothes get torn.
I see.
It was purely accidental. No malice intended.
Her getting stripped? In a strip club? She wants compensation, right?
The club to be shut down.
Why?
Well, she claims that not only did we cause her embarrassment, but it also cost her marriage.
What's her marriage got to do with the club?
Her husband is a very regular patron. He comes every day for a drink. Every night. He likes the dancers. He likes the strippers. Don't we all?
Don't we all?
Yes.
Now,
So?
I'll be forthright with you.
Yes.
This is not a case that Mwako and company would like to take up. The image of the farm may be tarnished, defending a strip club.
I understand.
However, I can take this myself.
What do you mean?
Just that. I represent you as Joe Kairu and not as Mwako and company.
Accepted. Very good.
Great. Then let's get started. Now, exactly when did this happen?
Can we first of all go to the club?
Yeah, what are you buying the drinks?
Yes, very good. Probably for you, a woman.
Now remember,
don't show any anger, okay? Stay calm. Let's make the judge empathize with you, all right? Even during cross-examination, okay? Remember, be precise. Stick to the yeses and nos.
Yes.
All right?
And who's that?
Joe Kairu, he's the defending lawyer.
Hey, Rima has taken the day off, or?
Is that any of your business?
Oh.
She looks like you're looking very well.
Only in the courtroom.
I look so down.
Here's a show off.
All right, in the matter of Irene Charlo versus Club 24. Okay, let's begin. Opening statements.
Thank you, Your Honor. Now, Irene Charlo, a wife, a mother. She left her house at 1 a.m. in the morning to find her husband, who was ensnared by strippers at Club 24. Now, her efforts, she walked in to find a young girl, barely out of her teens, dancing on her husband's lap in a manner to suggest like she was actually doing the act. Now, her actions to save her husband from this erotic dancing of a young, naked, curvaceous woman led her to being bitten, stripped, and forcefully removed from the club, stripped naked by the very men who were hired to protect the patrons of the club. Now, Irene was, and still is, humiliated, disgraced, and dishonored. A woman, a mother, a wife, stripped by the actions of the defendant's agents. The plaintiff has suffered pain, humiliation, and hurt, and deserves to be compensated.
When I walk into a club and I find a muscular, chiseled, 8-pack man dancing for my wife, I know one thing that I won't do, and that is to pick up a fight with this muscular, well-chiseled, 8-packed dancer. He's just doing his job. I walk into a club, I start a fight. The management holds the right to admission. And we will demonstrate by concrete evidence that the plaintiff is the author of her own misfortunes. Firstly, she is very lucky, my lord, that she got away basically unharmed. She is a trespasser and should be debarred from recovering any damages. Secondly, my client has claimed for self-defense. And we will show this court today that the force used by my client's agents was not excessive but proportionate to what the plaintiff did when she was asked politely to leave the premises. Thank you, my lord.
On the 17th of February, do you remember where you are?
I had gone to Club 24 looking for my husband.
Why were you looking for him?
It was our wedding anniversary and had planned a romantic dinner at home. I even made arrangements of taking my children to a friend's house so that we could have the privacy. We had agreed to meet at 7 p.m. in the house. Naturally, I was home earlier so that I could surprise him. On seeing he was getting late, I called him, and he told me that he was having a quick drink with a business associate.
Did he tell you where he was having the drink?
No.
So what led you to Club 24?
I called him several times later, but he wasn't picking up my calls. I must say the disappointment was so much for me to bear that I decided to call my friend Gloria Mikali for consolation.
So what became of your conversation with Gloria?
Gloria told me that she had seen him around 6 p.m. at Club 24, my husband. Club 24, strippers club. So she proceeded ahead and confirmed at the parking that his car was still there.
Where was Gloria at this time?
She was just in a club nearby, Neptune.
Is that what led you to get in the club?
Yes. I was so hot that I didn't even dress. I just left the house the way I was.
So with that information, you went to look for him in the club?
Yes.
So when you got there, did you see your husband?
He was the first thing I saw when I walked in. And he had a woman in bikini strings on his lap.
A lap dance, I propose?
It was more than that.
What do you mean?
It actually looked as if they were having sex. He was breathing so heavily, his eyes were rolled up as if he was...
As if?
As if he was... He's my husband, and I know that look he had. And the way he held her so tight, I'm telling you, it was more than a dance.
How long had you been watching him?
I was transfixed for a few minutes because I couldn't believe my eyes. On our wedding anniversary, he goes to a strip club or whatever the hell he was doing. On our anniversary, it was 2 minutes.
So what did you do?
I approached her and pulled the hoe out of my husband and pulled her away. That was when Daniel woke up and saw me and immediately got confused.
So is it true that you bit up the dancer?
No, I only pulled her away. And she came back making noises that I had no right to interfere with her work. And I told her to stay away from Daniel. He is a married man and I'm his wife.
So you had an altercation with her?
Yes, briefly. And she walked away annoyed, so I started picking an argument with Daniel.
Tell this court, what happened when you had an argument with your husband?
I was attacked with 2 big men who came and started pushing me away out of the club. I tried asking them why were they pushing me away instead of talking to me, and I got no response. But I insisted that I'm not going to leave that club without Daniel, who was just seated there watching all this unfold.
Did they listen to you?
No. One man literally pulled me off the ground. The other one grabbed my legs. The next thing I saw, my clothes were on the floor.
So you were literally undressed?
Yes. My behind was all in the air. My clothes on the floor. And I tried to beg them to let me put on my clothes, but they refused. So they threw me outside the club at the entrance and left me with my lower bottom all exposed.
My lord, I'd like to submit the torn clothes as exhibit.
Okay, Clark. Can have those marked as exhibit number 1 for the plaintiff.
So did you get help that night?
Gloria was on her way. I had told her that I was going in. So she came after a short while and got me naked in the streets. So she helped me with the kanga and helped me get home.
Did you see your husband again?
I saw him the next day.
Thank you. That's it.
You mentioned that when you walked into the club, you saw your husband getting a lap dance from one of the strippers.
Yes.
You watched them for 2 minutes.
Yes.
Then you approached them and you pushed her away from your husband.
Yes.
Okay. You then had a verbal argument with the dancer.
Yes.
I have witnesses here who say you walked into the club, saw your husband with a dancer, and you went straight to them and started beating up the dancer.
That's not true. And anyone who is saying that is lying.
Even the bouncers had to protect the poor lady from your vicious attack.
A lady? You call a hoe a lady? Any woman who bounces her naked body on people's husband is not a lady.
So what you're trying to say is that you do not respect street
Objection, Your
She is
Honor.
not a lady.
Harassing my
Sustain,
If
Mr.
it was not
Kairu,
for women
change the
like
line.
her, then men could be spending time with their families. It is for the strippers club and the hoes that break people's marriages.
Judging by the outburst, I highly doubt that the lady who was dancing on your husband, the stripper whore you called her, did not get a chance for a conversation. You fiercely attacked her, forcing the bouncers.
Objection.
The bouncers were merely protecting her.
Objection. Is counsel testifying from the bar? If he wants to be a witness, he can cross over, be sworn, and be cross-examined.
Mr. Kairu, you're pushing it.
Nothing further.
The plaintiff calls Daniel Chalu.
What is your religion?
Christianity.
Please place your left hand on the Bible like this and lift your right hand. Do you swear by the Almighty God to tell the truth and nothing but the truth in this court?
Yes.
Did you notice that your wife was in the club?
No.
At what point did you realize that she was in the club?
When the dancer was pulled off me, I saw her.
Oh, so she didn't attack the dancer, she was pulled off.
Yes.
So why did the bouncers come to get your wife?
Oh, the dancer wanted her money. I had not paid her for the...
Lap dance?
Yes.
So, after the bouncers came, what was so difficult about paying her dues?
My wife and I were in an argument, totally oblivious of the bouncers and the payment at that time. Biggie, one of the bouncers, trying to get Raymond's attention, but was given a tongue lash to stay away. Next thing I knew, she was being carried out of the club by two men as she tried to fight them off.
So there was really no reason for her to be attacked, beaten, and humiliated the way she was.
No, it was wrong.
And you didn't come home until the next day. Why?
Well, I was ashamed. The whole situation was mortifying.
Nothing, Father, Your Honor.
Very well, defense. Your witness.
What's the name of the other bouncer?
Strongman. I just know him by his nickname.
You know Strongman. Earlier you had mentioned you also know Biggie. You seem to be quite a regular at Club 24, to even know the bouncers by their names. By any chance, do you know the names of the lap dancers? Maybe even their nicknames?
Objection.
With
Relevance.
drawn. Isn't not paying your bills a reason to be kicked out of any establishment?
I had not refused to pay my bill. I didn't get a chance to do this all. Yeah.
With your wife tongue lashing and threatening to beat her, you did not get a chance to pay your bill? True or false?
True.
There goes your reason to having her kicked out. That's all, my lord.
He's not picking.
But you said he's in?
Yeah, he's in.
Take me to his office.
Sure. Follow me. Hi, Mr. Mwako. Are you all right?
What is it, Pauline?
There's...
Thank you, Pauline.
I trust you have my answer. Or would you like cash?
Put your checkbook away. I'm not interested in any of your dealings.
Swallow your pride. It usually comes before a huge fall.
You have my answer. Now get out of my office.
Just in case you change your mind. My direct line.
No need.
You're in no financial position to play hardball. This big-headedness of yours will propel this firm into bankruptcy.
My high standards and my forthrightness will see this company through all the odds.
Just in case you change your mind.
Now, if you'll excuse me.
Gloria Mwikali, you're friends with Irene and Daniel, Charlie.
Yes.
You're also the one who called Irene to tell her that Daniel was in the club?
Yes, I saw him enter the club earlier while I was at Neptune. So when Irene called me in the middle of the night crying that her husband had not come home, yet it was their anniversary, I had to tell her where to find him. In fact, his car was still at the parking when I left Neptune.
But did she tell you she was going to the club?
Yeah, I was supposed to meet her there, but she got there before me.
So how did you find her?
I found her curled up outside the club at a corner, naked.
So what did you do to help her?
I found a kanga, covered her, took her into my car, and then went inside the club to get the clothing, which I found on the floor of the club.
Thank you. Nothing more.
Cross-examination?
No, my lord.
Very well. The witness will step down. Counsel, do you have any other witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
Defense?
Yes, my lord.
Okay, the court will hear one witness before taking a 20-minute recess.
Yes, my lord. The defense calls Paul Carey, also known as Biggie. Are you a Christian?
Yes, I am.
Please place your left hand on the top of the Bible and lift up your right hand. Do you swear by the Almighty God to tell the truth and nothing but the truth in this court?
I do.
Biggie, you're on duty at Club 24 on the 17th of February.
Yes.
Do you recall that woman?
Yes.
Did you kick out of the establishment at 2 a.m. on that day?
Yes. I and my colleague, Strongman, throughout.
What events led to the scuffle that led you to kick out?
I had noticed her coming in night dress. I thought that was weird, but I assumed she was in to pick up someone. So I let her go through. The next thing I noticed was her shoving and pushing one of our dancers.
And that's when you approached her to calm her down.
Yes, I politely requested her to settle. Instead, she threatened to beat me and close down the club. Then I requested her to leave the premises because she was disturbing our patrons. It only got worse.
What happened next?
Strongman then told me that...
Sorry, Strongman is here?
Yes.
Okay, go on.
He told me the dancer was not paid for the performance on Daniel. So I requested the lady to let Daniel pay the dancer. She went into a frenzy. We had no other choice than to force her out.
She claims that you manhandled her. Is that so?
Handling her gently was no option. We carried her with difficulty. She was kicking and biting us. Her clothes got torn accidentally. We did not undress or tear her clothes. I have respect for women, especially mothers.
So under the circumstances, you did the best you could, considering that she
Objection.
was in a frenzy, as you put it. Withdrawn, my lord. Nothing further.
Was there any threat to you and your colleague, strongman?
No.
So then why did it need two strong men, given your muscles and all, to subdue a woman who'd only seen a lap dancer on her husband's lap?
Objection, my lord.
Well, according to his testimony, it doesn't need two strong men. Look at our witness. He can carry 3 women, let alone 1.
Overruled. The court would like an answer.
I'm going to ask the question again.
Understood.
So, why 2 of you?
She was too strong and she was wild.
She was strong. I'll put it to you that you intimidated my witness just so you can satisfy your egos. You intimidated my witness so you could demean her.
Objection, my lord.
Nothing more. Thank you.
Very well, defense. Your next witness?
No, Your Honor, the testimony of the second bouncer, strongman, is just the same as the other. That is Biggie.
Okay, very well. So you opt not to call him?
Yes, my lord.
Any other witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, then the court takes a recess of 20 minutes. Closing statements will be had then.
A devoted wife and mother, spent hours preparing for her and her husband's anniversary. She even sent the kids off to a friend's place just so that her and her husband can have a quiet, romantic evening. Her husband, on the other hand, finds his way to a strip club for a cheap thrill. Hours pass until it was way past midnight. Now, Irene was irate and emotional by the time she got to the club. Okay? Now, the husband's lap dance with the stripper only served to magnify her disappointment. Now, when the bouncers came, Irene and her husband were having a much expected argument, very expected argument between her and her husband. But what they do is they drag her out of the club and they turn her into a plaything by stripping her of her clothes and forcefully removing her from the club. Club 24 is responsible for the disgusting, foul humiliation a mature woman such as Irene underwent. Club 24 caused her immense physical and mental anguish. This court should rule in favor of the plaintiff and further shut down strip clubs who mistreat women who are fully clothed. Thank you.
Club 24 is a profit-making institution. It is licensed by the government to conduct a business. This company maintains and operates its own regulations under the laws of this country. They also offer a safe and a friendly environment to their clients. Now, Irene Chalo was emotional and irate that even the plaintiff's counsel has conceded. We may all understand and empathize with the circumstances of having a disappointing wedding anniversary and so forth, but that has nothing to do with Club 24. My lord, the truth of the matter is that she trespassed and subsequently interfered with the operations of the club that night. Efforts to calm her down failed, and that's why she had to be thrown out. It's that simple. My lord, the question here is, who is responsible for the scuffle at Club 24? Certainly not the employees, nor the management of Club 24. The culprits are there, especially her. There are better and less risky ways of dealing with your husband. She was wrong, what she did, and it's risky. That's all, my lord.
Hey, sweetie.
Look at my new car. I got it from the playground.
Wow, I can see. Who got it for you?
Grandpa.
Did you say thank you?
Look at my Afro-man mask.
Ooga booga, ooga booga, ooga.
It's not like that.
Okay, you'll show me, but first, say thank you to Grandpa.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dad, thanks so much for picking him up.
It was so much fun for me having all day with him, as always.
So, how about we go out for dinner together?
I would like to, but I'm having a meeting.
You and these late night meetings. Is there someone we're going to meet soon?
Oh, no, not yet. Not yet, not yet. But in the meantime, both of you have a very good evening. Thank you. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Mommy just needs 10 minutes to finish this email and then we'll go. Is that okay?
Okay. When will I be seeing Daddy?
What did you say?
When will I be seeing Daddy again?
Who's Daddy?
Paul, he told me he's my daddy.
I told you he's your uncle.
He told me it's a secret and he's my daddy and you don't know about it. I'm in trouble. I promised not to tell.
No, sweetie. Remember we said we will have no secrets.
That's why I told you my secret. Are you going home?
Yes. I must be tired. You can go get some ice cream and you can tell me all about Uncle Paul and all the secrets he's been telling you. Okay?
Mr. Mwako, you called for me?
Where have you been all afternoon?
I had a family emergency that took longer than I expected.
Well, in a way, you're off. Anyway, I want you to prepare the trial motions for the Mwikimi guests. I'd like to use your brains.
Sure, I'll work on that this evening.
What are you talking about?
Telling Jabali that you're his father.
But I am.
And asking him to keep it from me.
That's because I knew of this kind of reaction.
I give you a few hours and you discredit everything.
Listen here, Elsie. He is my son and he has a right to know who his father is.
The same father who denied him before he was born?
I'm sick and tired of hearing that. How much longer are you going to punish me for my mistakes? I'm more than paid for my mistakes.
You haven't even started.
He is my son, and I want to spend more time with him.
No! Not after the sneaky little move you pulled.
Elsie,
never!
We've gone through this before.
Yes, we have. And perhaps I wasn't clear enough. From now on, you will not even see his shadow.
Elsie!
In the matter of Irene Chalo versus Club 24, I sympathize with the situation of Irene Chalo, finding her husband with a woman on his lap when he was actually meant to be at home celebrating their wedding anniversary. For the lack of a better word, I'll call this very disappointing. It is much more saddening that Irene was deeply disgraced and stripped naked, ironically, in a strip club. However, I do recognize that Club 24 is in business. Customers cannot be at liberty to settle their domestic scores in a club. Furthermore, the management holds the right of admission in all circumstances, and more so when one patron attacks their employees or other patrons. Sadly, I rule in favor of the defendant. Due to the peculiar nature of this silence in court. Now, due to the peculiar nature of this case, I order that each party bears their cost. And with that, this court is adjourned.
We gave you all the money you asked for, so what happened?
Sorry, we'll appeal. We'll get
It is not fair. It is not fair.
We'll get him eventually. We'll get him.
What happened? What happened?
We'll get him. Don't worry. We'll get him.
Let's go back to our office.